All right. Now it's time to start digging into this 98 Polaris 325 Magnum. So in the last video I did on this thing, I had just picked it up and we put tires on it and I just kind of scooted it out back because I was working on my truck. But right off the rip, I was checking this thing out. The oil dipstick screw is broken off. I was going to check the oil, so that's broken off. So we're going to have to rob the dipstick out of the other bike that I picked up. But this thing, she's a diamond in the rough. It needs a lot of love and care, but hopefully out of the other two I got, we can take and make one good one. Or one of the other ones is a 400 two-stroke. I'm supposed to be getting another Magnum here in another day or so, but it's already stripped down too. It's got some wheels on. I need wheels. These wheels are hard to find. That's because the Polarises, they had a bigger bolt pattern on the front and they had a smaller bolt pattern on the rear. It's weird that Polaris did that on these four-wheelers. I don't know if they still do it now, but you can't put the front wheels on the back. So I really just need more wheels to move those other ones around. But anyway, this one here, like I say, it's got a broken dipstick. So I'm gonna have to try and chisel that out of there and take the dipstick out of the other one so we can check the oil and get a battery in this thing and see does it turn over. Now the guy I got it from said the engine had been rebuilt, but it was something about the reverse. It didn't want to go in reverse. Now I know these Polaris of these, let's see, is it these? I think all of them had the shifter right here, didn't they? No, the early Polarises had a little knob on that side that you pull. You put it in forward and reverse. These had the shifter, and you got your 4 high and low and all that stuff. These were bad about freezing up. You have to adjust them when the rods get wore out, because it has rods that run from that shifter, which is in there, and it goes back to the transmission. You see the rods right there. And see, this one has a transmission that's separate from the engine, and it has a belt drive with a clutch behind this cover, just like a snowmobile. You have the belt and you have your clutch up here. I think they call that maybe the primary clutch, and then you have your other pulley back here, and as that clutch pulls in on the belt, it tightens up to make it go. But I don't know. He said this engine had been rebuilt, so I don't know whether I trust that or not. But it needs stuff like the steer bushings is gone. There's like a little rubber bushing that goes in there. I've already ordered that. The bushings down here on the control arms, they're wore out, which I got good ones on that other one, but I probably just order some bushings. I don't know. They don't cost much. I did notice also these things are shaft drive. Some of them were chain drive. This one's shaft drive, and this one here got a bad universal joint. Trying to get in there to turn it. Let's see. It's got a lot of slop. You see how it's moving there? The universal joints wore out. So this bike, it done seen some real hard riding. So hopefully the motor is rebuilt. Hopefully the motor is not locked up. I do see kind of a new oil filter on it. And this is a 4-stroke. So we have to get all the plastics off. That pipe has just been burning into the plastics. So, and these side covers are not cheap. I found some, they want like $100 and something a piece. And these plastics are all faded. I thought about using the plastics off of the green one instead of these because they look so bad. But I'm missing the side covers for the green one. And this side's melted. I'm missing the one on that side. The front rack, it's almost Bluetooth. I think the bolt's out of it. Headlights busted. We got keys, which is a good thing. There's no battery. Push button start there. What else was in there? Oh, the pull cord is broke. So we can't pull start it because it's broke. Sure, it's been raining down in there. So these things have the electric 4-wheel drive system. And they have like a coil inside the hub down here. And it's like magnetic. That's what kicks in your front wheels. And this button up here, I think some of them had a button. I think this is the 4-wheel drive, maybe. Not sure. Some of them had a button you can push to make them 4-wheel drive. That's start there. That's the headlights. This might be the 4-wheel drive button. It's missing a cover that goes up around the lights here. It's got the wrong choke cable. There's any gas in it. It's a plastic gas tank and it's dry as a bone down in there. Yeah, nothing in there. It's kind of good. I think these wires up here are going to the cooling fan because it's liquid cool and it does have a radiator on the front. Or does it have a radiator? Yeah, it should. Maybe these are not liquid cool. No, these are air cooled. That is going to the transmission cooler. It's an oil cooler is what that is. It's an oil cooler, so it has an oil cooler fan. Let's see, a lot of oil on that motor if it's rebuilt. Now these have a vacuum style fuel pump that suck. They work good when they work, but they can go down at any time. I went through that on my Yamaha Rhino. We ended up putting an electric fuel pump on the Rhinos because these vacuum styles, they can just quit. I had one I put on my Rhino and it lasted a day. So we don't know if that's going to work. But it works off vacuum, off of the engine. And as you give it gas, more vacuum sucks the diaphragm on the inside and it pumps the gas to the carburetor. So I don't know if that's going to work. Looks like it's got carburetor on it. I don't know if I had the seat up on it or not. Hope nothing don't jump out. There's an air box. Toolbox. This is in here. Looks like the battery tray. There's a pull cord that broke. Half a tool kit. Hose clamp, spark plugs. A lot of spark plugs. That ain't a good sign. I don't know what that is, some screws. Let's see what's in the air box. Hopefully nobody living in here. This thing set outside by some woods on the ground with no tires. It's got an air filter, like it's just zip tied on there. It's nothing, there's no cage. That's a bad sign already. The air box is just kind of sitting in the bike, and we'll take that off anyway. So that's the transmission. Those rods I was telling you about. Feel like it's shifting. There's a starter. Ooh, look at the back of the carburetor. This is getting worse by the moment. Bad gas. So, main thing to do, we could just stick a battery in it and just see will this thing bump over. And I don't want to crank it because I'm gonna have to get that dipstick out. But at least we can stick a battery in and just see if it's even locked up. And if it's locked up, then ain't no sense of fooling with the dipstick. And the battery goes right there up on the fender. So I don't have a battery for it yet. I guess I just rob it out of my 350 Warrior. We'll stick it off in there and see. Or I could put the jump pack on it if it's charged. Either way, we're gonna get some battery power to it and see what this thing gonna do. Either it's gonna bump over or it's just gonna sit there and click. So let me get all that set up and we'll go from there with it. Alright, so I dug the battery out of my Yamaha Rhino. I think it's the same size battery. Matter of fact, it is the same size. Yeah, it's the same size battery. That's good. So if I get ready to buy a battery, I can go to O'Reilly's and pick up one because that's where I got that one from. This should be positive. Make sure the key off. You know, sometimes you get given stuff for free and then you know why. You end up being a turd. But the guy guaranteed it ran. I think somebody stole the wheels off of it. I didn't see any other Polarises around his property that he could have put the wheels on, but he said somebody stole the wheels off of it, and it had something wrong with reverse. So he might have been telling the truth. I don't know. But anyway, let's turn the key on. I don't have any lights. Start button. I think. Do these you have to hit the switch, the clutch lever? Where is off? Is off in the middle? Let's see. I don't have no kind of lights. Should be in neutral. Got nothing. The key switch plugged up. I don't know about I know there was some of these Polarises had that big circuit board at the front that all the wires went to. I guess we can jump it at the solenoid for now. It's got a fuse, kind of relay there. The spider's coming off this thing. Oh, that's all-wheel drive. Okay, so that's the all-wheel drive switch. Let me get a screwdriver. We can jump it over right here at the solenoid. Let's see. Got a spark, but got a spark with no start. Here's the starter right here. I guess that's the starter wire. And we're jumping it over, so it should have turned over. Things are not looking good, Captain. Got some hard spark, but no start turnover. That's risky business there. I wonder, could we just take the pull cord cover off and turn it over at the flywheel? That's going to require me taking this side step off. To get the start out of this thing, you got to pull, look like you got to pull the primary clutch and this cover off. That's stupid. And that's just some, no, it ain't no access holes through there. I guess what I need to do is just pull this side cover off over here where the pull cord goes. We can pull that off. But like I said, I had to take that side step off. And this got some funky looking SIP tapping screws. I just want to see if the engine's locked up. If it's worth messing with, because I got another one, and the other engine is supposed to run. So I don't want to put a lot of time in this thing here. That's the wrong size. They got sheet metal screws and wood screws. Jesus. The motor's not locked up, man. I'll be kind of happy. have no ignition up there. Get a Phillips head screwdriver. I'm gonna try one more thing too. I'm gonna try tapping on that starter. Also, I just thought about it before we proceed of destruction. I want to know why it won't crank. If I can get in here and tap on it. I don't think I can get in there to even tap on it, because this air duct is in the way. Nah. That is not good. So it'll be easier to pull the pull cord side off or the belt side. Either way you can turn the motor. Because I'm thinking, I don't think that stator runs in oil. I think the belt side will probably be easier, because I can put all those screws back in there. They ain't good anyway. I think if you pull the belt side off, you won't have to worry about gaskets. So that's what I'm gonna do. We'll pull the belt side off. Grab hold to the clutch. These plastics are just barely bolted on. Because if we have to pull the starter, I'll be right at it. They use the longest screws they can find. Oh, they got screws on the side. Makes you just want to just lift up the whole body and take it off. This is some nice here. They got all the plastics. Sheet metal screwed together, but they didn't alright, so we got that side cover off there. Now we can get this this big cover off where the belt goes. get us some more light so we can see. There's nothing wrong with a little bit more light. Kind of dark over there. How all my cords tangled up. That might be a little better. So we can get this cover off. I'm going to block half the light anyway. Let's see. They got all the screws in the cover. That's good though. Keep the water out. Usually these covers get busted because the engine mount either gets bad and it lets the engine rock side to side in the clutch, a rubber hole in these covers, or they lose the screws out of them and they rock around. I've seen people put duct tape on the cover and fiberglass it. I think the one I got out back, they fiberglassed it. Most of the stuff these days are built drive, like your Rhinos. You got some Kawasaki's that's built drive. Can-Ams. One more screw. This one had all the screws in it. That's a good sign though. Usually screws get lost. Screws will get lost, and then they get to putting in sheet metal screws and break the cover. Get to see if there's any critters in here. Hopefully not. I was eventually gonna have to take this off anyway. Ooh, squirrels have been in there. Got a bunch of, it's either squirrels or pet rat. Got a bunch of acorns. Yeah, this thing's been sitting for a long time. Anybody in there? Nope. Leave a comment below if any of you guys ever took an airbox top off or a cover like this or something and found a critter still living jump out at you or anything. Alright, so now we down. Oh, there it goes. It was stuck a little bit. Well, it went one way. It goes one way and stops. It might have rust in the cylinder. So I'm gonna pull the spark plug. Pull the spark plug and we'll get some other light. Pull the spark plug and get some PB blaster down in the spark plug hole, because it goes one way and stop. Seems like it's trying to turn all the way, but I don't want to force it though. I'd rather put some oil down in the cylinder. I don't know what size spark plug that is. 5/8. The belt looked like something been chewing on it, which I can believe that, whatever was in here. I'll pull the spark plug and see what it looks like. Ooh, it looks pretty foul. Okay, could have had carburetor issues. PB blaster, put some PB blaster in it. Hopefully the dipstick didn't get broken, they just rode it without being able to check the oil, and then something else happened. That would suck. Let's see. There it goes. It's got some rust in the cylinder. Just kind of work that back and forth before I go all the way around. You hear that? Ooh, spit it out. It's a spitter. There we go. Spitting it back out of there. It was locked up though. It don't feel bad. I wonder if it's got any compression. Yeah. Yeah, it's got compression. So it's not locked up. I wonder if I hit the starter now, will it turn over? Let's see. Probably spray PB blaster everywhere. Ah! The sparks got me almost in the face, they hop so high. No, we still ain't got no starter though. Something's up. Something's up with the starter. But at least we know it ain't locked up, and while I got this cover off, I can get that broken dipstick out and check the oil. And to replace that starter, oh, you can get to it right here. Just kind of fold the cover back. I don't know if the other one's got a starter on it or not. I have to go check. but something's up with it. It won't turn over unless we get it out of there and check it, but it ain't locked up. That's good. So I'm gonna work on getting that broken dipstick out. That's probably gonna take me a minute. And I'm gonna go rob the other one for the dipstick, check the other one, see if it's got a starter. Hopefully it does, because the guy had robbed a lot of parts off the other one. And if we got a starter, that'll be good. And then we try to spin it over, see if we got any good compression, and maybe get this thing to fire up. Alright, so I checked the other four-wheeler and it didn't have a starter on it. So I might end up pulling that one, see if we can get it freed up. These don't have starter clutches. But right now I'm going to try and get this dipstick out. So I'm going to drill a hole. Drill a hole in it, take a big screwdriver and run in there, and hopefully I see some metal shavings pop up. We must be almost there. Let me see if I get a big screwdriver, knock down in there, get that dipstick out. Ooh, that's in there tight. Man, what they do? Tighten it with some vice grips. I got the dipstick out of the other one. Oh man, that sucker won't come out. It is jammed in there. How did they do that? How are we gonna get this dipstick out of there? I could go all the way through, I'm scared. It's made out of plastic, so. Uh-oh, I think it's going inside. That ain't good. I was hammering it, I seen it go down. It's just breaking. That's the screwdriver. Oh man. Uh-oh. I think the whole bottom of the dipstick fell out. There's a straight hole down in there. Maybe that was just a plug that they jammed in there because they lost the dipstick. But how was they putting oil in it? I don't see any oil. I see the threads. I looked on the other motor, that's what the dipstick is. 'Cause I got it out. So I guess we'll just continue knocking that cap out. It don't look like there's any oil in it. Hopefully they didn't run it out of oil. And sometimes people do some of the strangest things, but I don't want to mess this case up. So we're right at the threads. Then I have to go fishing and get that out. Drain the oil, pieces come out of there. Look like it's just a cap they shoved down in there. That's it breaking out. If I knock it in there, then I gotta try and get it out. That's gonna be a problem. I don't know if I can fish it out of there. Well, there goes nothing. I mean, what other choices I got, right? I couldn't, looks like they JB welded or something. I probably can take the shot back. I don't even see any oil in there. Probably take the shot back and get it out of there. That's gonna be my best bet. Just knock it through and hope for the best. I see some threads, so it's definitely I think they JB weld that. It looks like some kind of Magnum steel or something. Then I'm gonna have to clean the threads up before I can put the other dipstick in. That's gotta be some kind of JB weld. Could have did a better job than that if they lost the dipstick. But some people just don't do stuff right just to get by, and then somebody else got to deal with it. So I got most of it out, but might have to try and, I don't know if I got a tap that big. Of course it's gonna be some funky size anyway. Mike can take maybe something put on my drill, clean the rest of the threads up. That's definitely some kind of JB Weld or something. Well, there ain't no oil in it, that's one thing, because I don't see nothing. So I'm going to get the shop vac. Try and suck some of those pieces out and clean the threads up so I can get the dipstick in there. Now if that was the dipstick, they broke it off because the part where you check the oil is gone. That's the dipstick right there. So anywho, I am going to clean those threads up because I know this that ain't gonna start. I get that cleaned up and we'll see about the starter, trying to get the starter out of there and see if we can fix it. If not, I'm supposed to be getting another one, but I don't know if it's got a starter on it either, so we might be in the same boat with starters. So like I said, let me see what I can do and y'all will be the first to know. So another Polaris truckload. Picked this one up from over in Arkansas. A guy had a small engine shop and he worked on a bunch of four-wheelers, and he had a whole line of four-wheelers that he was parting out. Well, he was ready to do some cleaning and he posted four-wheeler parts. We'll sell parts or whole units. So we got this one. This is a Polaris 500. I don't know if it's a Magnum or a Sportsman, but I did need some extra wheels. So it's got all four wheels on it. And you know, we got that one that's missing a hub. So I was just going to get the wheels, and he was like, well, just take the whole thing with you. So for $100 I got 2 racks, which this one's missing a rack on the back. I got this speedo thing, which I didn't know was missing till I looked it up on the internet, and just trying to get a good view at it here. It's got the speedometer and a little digital readout. So these are kind of hard to find. I was looking on eBay. The only thing I can find was the speedo, and they are kind of pricey, but the plastic part you definitely can't find. So they just go on there like that. It bolts to that bracket with the 2 little screws, because these didn't have headlights on the handlebars. And then I got a side cover. He had a whole set, but he said people's been stealing stuff. So I found a green side cover. I really want to find both of them because I was going to put the green plastics on this one. But that's all I can find. He had a whole set. He looked at his marketplace ad and he hadn't sold anything, but he had a problem with people coming through his fence and stealing stuff. We got another seat. It's kind of torn, and this 500's got all 4 tires. Like I say, I was just going to get the tires. He said just take the whole thing with you. He's wanting to get rid of it, but it's got all 4 rims. I got 2 more extra front rims and tires. He kind of just threw on the truck. I don't know nothing about this motor. I know it is a 500. Let's see what it turned. Yeah. It turned a little bit. I know nothing about it though. So there's plenty of good parts on here. Drive shaft, we got a differential, muffler's toast. It's got a shifter, probably froze. Carburetor. It's got a brake master cylinder up there. So anyway, front diff, when someone robbed the drive shaft or the axle. It's got one of those vacuum pumps that might be salvageable, but anyway, I mean, for what I gave, we got some parts we can use and I can scrap the rest. I mainly was wanting the tires, but we were going to take them off. He was like, man, let's just take the tractor and put the whole thing on your truck. Which he had some more Polarises. The one I really went after was a 325 like that one, but it was totally stripped by the time I got there. Somebody had bought the starter out of it and some other stuff. And so, see how electric fan on the front. These Polarises are some big four-wheelers. I mean, look at that frame. That is one big frame. And you know, as time go by, four-wheelers are getting bigger and bigger. These frames are getting bigger, more sturdier. But somebody robbed the strut out of this one. Tires are dry rotted. If they just hold air just enough for me to put on the other ones to move around, I'll be fine with that. Got another seat. So that's it on that part. On this one here, I still haven't got that dipstick to go in. That's why I stopped on this one, because I wanted to go and get this stuff. So still didn't get a starter. I'll probably just order one off Amazon. But for right now, I'm gonna see if I can get that straight. And I'm still gonna pull that starter out because I probably can fix it. It might have just set up with some got rust in it or something. But anyway, anybody need some Polaris parts? I got plenty of them now. I don't need any more. I didn't see the spring was laying up there. So this one's just gonna chill out on the back of the truck till I get the tires off and whatever else I need. I'll probably just scrap the rest of it. I mean, I don't know. These things are hard to move around. It's missing the strut. So they're kind of hard to move around without the front end hooked up. I mean, because they're so big. This bracket here I need for the rear rack, but I can straighten this though. The rack sits on top of it, and it's got these clamps that clamp the rack to it, the rear rack, and this whole bracket bolts to the frame, so we can use that on this one too. A lot of parts, but first I want to hear this one run. I haven't even heard this thing run yet, so even though we got another running motor, I still would like to hear this one run before I go getting too invested in it as I am already. But we'll see what it do. So I'm gonna work on this dipstick. We'll get the starter out and get it up on the table, see what's up with it. And we might be able to fix the pull start too. I don't know what's over there. Alright, so I worked on this oil dipstick for the longest, and I dug through my stash. I found one that's supposed to be the right one for it. That other one I had is for a different year model, and this one here has totally different threads on it. So that's what it's supposed to look like, and that's why that other one was broke off. I remember it was kind of squarish because it was broke off like up in here somewhere. But I played with the threads. I can get it to start, but that's just gonna be good for right now. I tried to get the starter out, and it is froze in there. So what I'm gonna have to do is shoot, tripped over the cord. I'm gonna have to pull this pull cord assembly off and try and knock it out through this side here, because I can't get it to come out of the bottom end of the motor, probably because this has filled up with water, and what happened, it then rusted the starter into the block. So I'm gonna have to just go ahead and pull this cover off and hopefully get it out that way. And also I can see what's up with the pull cord anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this off. I don't think any oil is gonna come out of here when I pull that cover off. It's probably going to be mainly a bunch of water. Temperature done got cold again, so had to pull out the old heater. I see water coming out. A bunch of rusty water. That's probably why the starter won't come out, because all that water is rusty. Cut that off so you can hear me. Alright, let's see, can we get this cover off? Something's definitely hung up. Oh yeah, look at that. It does have a starter. It has a starter gear there. Ooh, no wonder it wouldn't turn over. That's all rusted up. And flywheel's got rust on it. This is full of rust. I bet you that starter, let's see. That starter might turn over now, because this starter, it's like a starter gear. It's supposed to kick out, to kick the flywheel so it can turn over. This is probably all froze up. It's supposed to be spring loaded. I don't know if I be able to get that to free up. But I did get the starter button to work. Let's see with the starter turn over anyway. It's got a lot of corrosion in there. This thing's beginning to be a turd by the moment. But that's just how it is when you let stuff sit. It's a key on. Oh, I gotta hook the wire back up. Well, it was working. Key is on. Huh. It worked a few minutes ago. Oh, I know why. I don't have I took the starter bolt out. And it has the ground wire on it, so that's why it won't turn over. It would work if it was some power going to it. Now I gotta get the screw back in there. I wonder if I can just hold the ground wire to it. There it goes. It works now. Starter button's kind of stuck. Alright, well, we know the starter works. It's kind of noisy, but it does work. Start button works. So should I pull that starter out of there and clean it up, or should we just run it? I know for sure that starter gear is froze, and that's not going to work. But look how much rust and stuff was in there. There's your starter gear, your starter right there. So maybe I can free this thing up. It's supposed to ratchet out, like I said, and kick the flywheel, and it's froze. And the pull cord, that's froze up too. It might not even work anymore. Well, I'm gonna see if I can fix this, get this unstuck, and maybe we can get the electric start to work. Still got to drain the oil and put some fresh in it. So one thing at a time, that's all we can do with it. So went outside and looked at I think it's a 95 Polaris 400 two-stroke, and this thing here had the starter gear still in it, and let's see, it should be the same. Hopefully we won't have to take the flywheel off to get it out of there. Shouldn't have to, but it looks like it's the same. Yeah, I have to take the flywheel. I wonder if I take the starter out. Starter just got 2 bolts. One of them was already loose. This motor was taken apart. Anyway, yeah, it'll come out that way. It was taken apart anyway. It actually turns over, but this was one of the free ones I got. So it looks like, I think they're the same, people. Unless the gear is too. Is that the same? It looks the same. Unless that one's slightly bigger. I think it's the same thing. See how this one here, it ratchets? That's what this one's supposed to do. This one's actually stuck in. I might can get it freed up, but we might can use this one. It looks the same to me. Let's look at the gears. I think it is the same. We'll stick this one in there. Actually, it was missing a. Let's see, that one's on there. I think that spacer's on there. Shim. Still need to clean this up though. It's a flywheel. The flywheel's got all kind of rust on it. Huh. It shouldn't be touching the flywheel though. Might be a hair difference. This is right on the flywheel. It's touching the starter though. Probably gonna have to clean this housing and everything. And I think it's a shim back there. There is a shim. It's made in there. Because it was still touching the flywheel, but I might have to clean all this up. Let me clean all of this up here, and I'll let it go back further, and then if it don't work, we'll just free up the other one. It looks the same to me, but it's so dirty. Everything is covered with dirt and mildew. So let me see what I can get cleaned. Alright guys, so off camera I've been working on this thing. I was going to bring y'all in on it, but then I said it'd be quicker for me just to skip ahead and do some stuff on it, and that's what I did. So I took the other pull starter that was on this 400 two-stroke motor. I took it apart and put all the pieces in the 325 pull start, and I couldn't get the starter gear to work right, so I ordered a new one off of Amazon. But I did get the starter to work, but I found out that this button up here, you're supposed to push up to start. You push up on the button to start it, and left to right is to kill it. So I ordered a new one of these because this hangs up and the starter keeps turning, and I messed with it for a long time. So that's why I just said, let's just get it to where we can just hear it hit off. So I already checked it for spark. It does feel like it's got compression, but I want to bring y'all in right quick. We're gonna spray some starting fluid at it, and just to see what it even hit off, and then we'll know what we're working with. So also, I put fresh oil in it. I flushed the bottom end, put fresh oil in it, and of course, you know, I got the dipstick to work right. So let's just see, will it even hit off and run on some starting fluid. Hopefully it does. Then we can get the carburetor off, go through it, and the starter gear should be here and the switch should be here in the next day or two. I can put that on. Maybe we can use the electric start and have the carburetor good, and then we can really fire this thing up. So key is on. Let's spray some. Let's see. Come on now. Uh-oh, it popped. There it goes. Come on. Come on. Yes. Yes. Whew, that thing's got some compression though. It hit off and ran, so that's music to my ears. We know it do run. Let's see what it do it again. Come on. Come on. wearing me out. Here it goes. Come on. Woo. Man, we got to get that electric start fixed. Oh, hopefully when I get the carburetor clean and everything, if we do have to use the pull start, which I hope I don't, it will start a lot easier, but it does run. That's a good thing. So I'm going to work on getting the gas tank out of there so we can get the carb off, get it cleaned, and while I'm waiting on the starter gear and the new switch, and we get some gas to this thing, hopefully that vacuum pump works. But I got like 4 of them, so out of the 4 bikes we ought to be able to make one that works. I'm gonna take this side cover off because it's just melted. It ain't no good. We get it running, it's just gonna keep melting. I don't know why they put that pipe behind the plastics like that. It's supposed to have just heat shield looking stuff, but over time that melts away. But yeah, motor runs, that's good. I didn't see any smoke, but of course we were just spraying it with some starting fluid, and we wasn't running any gas. It hadn't warmed up yet. So hopefully this thing, hopefully it pans out to be a good machine after we do a lot of stuff to it to get it back up and going. So like I said, I'm gonna get that carb off, and then we will tear it down and see what's up with it. And hopefully I don't have to buy one. Hopefully I only got, let's see, I got a carburetor on the 500. I don't know how good it is. Other than that, this is the only Polaris carburetor I got, but we might be able to make another carburetor I got work. I got a whole bunch of carburetors put up. So, all right, enough talking, let's get to work. All right, so I got the plastics off. I just got tired of trying to work around them. So I went ahead and took the front plastics off. We got the gas tank off. We got the rear plastics off. I'm gonna take the carburetor off of it. Then I'm gonna push this thing outside to pressure wash it, get all this dirt and mud off of it. These things got a lot of wires. I know the older Polarises had like a circuit board looking thing up here, and you had to plug the wires into it. It was a real pain in the butt because they can jump off there. But the circuit board was it was labeled to where the wires go. But this one, they got just a bunch of plugs. There's a hot box. I think this might be, I don't know what that is because the rectifier, I think, is in the back. I don't know what that thing is. There's some kind of box here. This is a circuit breaker that's in there. There's the coil, oil cooler, and it has a fan on it. There's a vacuum pump. I took the drain screw out of the carburetor and it was funky. So carb needs to come off. Choke cable stuck. There's a battery tray, another circuit breaker. Muffler's been rigged on. Somebody tried to weld a bracket on there or something, but we'll deal with that later. All the universal joints are completely wore out. You can see how kind of play right there. So it needs the drive shaft universal joints on the back and the front. But we got those other four-wheelers. We might be able to salvage the shafts out of those and put them in this one. Once we get it running and make sure that the differential, or the transmission rather, differential's back there, make sure the transmission's good. I think the one in the 500 is the same. The one in the other 325 is locked up. So we might be able to salvage a transmission out of it, or the 500, but looks like it might have had a leak around the front diff. But anyway, she's a diamond in the rough. I mean, I'm not trying to restore the thing. I'm just trying to get it back together and get it where it's rideable. I don't know anything about the brakes, so that's going to be another issue. It's got disc brakes all the way around. It's got one disc brake back here on the rear. Maybe we can salvage enough parts off the other one to make it stop. Looks like it's got a busted axle boot. The boot is busted. I don't think that side's busted. No. Oh, that side's good. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and tear this carburetor off here. It's just a couple hoses. I got one hose off already. A couple hoses, clamp this little bracket, take the carb off, get it up on the table, take a look at it. If it's too bad, I think I might have a brand new one I can put on it. But we will find out once we get there. So I'm gonna go ahead and rip this thing off. We'll see what this is looking like. Alright, so I got the carburetor tore down. Yeah, had the typical gangrene looking stuff in there. Bad gas. Got all the jets out. This one's kind of crusty looking. So we're gonna go ahead and put this carb in this ultrasonic cleaner and get this thing clean. Hopefully it will perform like it's supposed to without me having to buy one. Trying to keep this budget friendly without spending a lot of money on these things. So anyway, I'm gonna get this in the cleaner. We'll get it back together and hope for the best. Alright, good folks, so I took this thing outside, pressure washed it real good. I went through the carburetor, cleaned it. I ordered another starter for it. For some reason, I don't think that starter is turning in the right direction. I think somebody put that starter on there and it turns counterclockwise and is not kicking out the starter drive gear to hit the flywheel. I ordered a brand new starter drive gear for it, and when you hit the starter is turning the opposite way and not letting the starter gear do its job. So I'm gonna see what this thing crank. I got a little gas bottle rigged up. I don't know if the vacuum pump is good or not, but I'm gonna try and gravity feed some gas to the carburetor just to see if we can get it to fire up and run, and then we can test that pump and see if it's working. If not, I got two more. Well, I got, I think, 3 more vacuum pumps that we can try. But for right now, let's put some gas in it. I'm gonna have to pull start it. So I'm gonna put some gas in this thing. I'm not too crazy about vacuum pumps. I mean, when they're working, but when they go out, they just go out and they can quit on you in the woods. I like electric fuel pumps or gravity feed gas tanks. So let's fill it up with some gas. Hopefully we don't have any major leaks. Carburetor didn't look too bad. As I shown, it had a little of that gangrene stuff in there, but after I cleaned it up and soaked it, looked pretty good. So we'll let the carb fill up. Like I say, hopefully I can get some gas down to the carburetor, and this thing fires up and does what it's supposed to do. I also fixed the choke cable, so I guess I can turn the choke on, make sure it's still working. The cable was kind of stiff. The bad thing is pull starting, you can't operate the gas and choke and all of that. So hopefully it'll just fire up and then I can keep it running. Ooh, compression. Oh, it would help if I turned the key on. There she goes. Come on. Pop back through the carburetor. Woo. Hey, it runs. I couldn't get the choke off in time. I can't tell if the choke is sticking or not. Loading up. Oh, I see what it is. I see what it is. The needle has checked out in the slider. I can see the needle jumping up and down. There must not be nothing holding it. Let's get some air going in here. It's just blowing gas through the throat of the carburetor. So let me pull the top of this carburetor. Whew. I don't think I checked the slide. Didn't sound bad though. It wasn't knocking or anything. It's just that the running real rich. It's supposed to be something to hold that. Oh yeah. There's nothing to hold the, I didn't even realize that. There's nothing to hold the needle down inside of the slide. It is gassy in here. But the needle is just dancing around in there. And it popped out. It's supposed to be like some kind of holder to hold the needle in the slide, and then, sorry about that, and then you got this spring that goes down on top of that. So is that in backwards? Is the needle goes in first. Of course it's going to smoke a little bit because it's been sitting up. No. That's going to go right through. I got to find out what's up with the slider, because it don't have nothing. Oh, I dropped it, slipped out of my hand. It don't have nothing holding the needle down. So let me look to my carb pile, see what I got. I think I got another carburetor like this. See if I got the piece that holds the needle in there, and then cut the key off. Then we'll try it again. Well, I hated to do it, but I had to. I got a brand new carburetor, and it's got the same slider as the one that's on the Polaris. This is I don't remember. I bought this carburetor from a buddy of mine. Same slider, it's got the same shape in there and everything. So the piece that's missing is this little plastic piece here, and the spring sits on top of it, and that holds the needle down. So I hate to disassemble a brand new carburetor, but we need it right now. So gotta do what you gotta do. So what happens is, we could just put the diaphragm and all. I mean, this one still feels good. You just put the spring in there, and then that holds that. When the pressure's on it, it keeps the needle from dancing around. But like I said, I hate to have to do it, but so I bet you they were running this thing like that. They took it apart trying to clean it, and they lost that spring, that retainer that holds the needle down, and it's probably why the carburetor, I mean not the carburetor, the spark plug was so fouled out and black looking. There's no telling what so-called mechanics do these days. But she should fire up and run good now. I did not take the air screw out at the bottom of the carburetor when I soaked it. I didn't want to mess with the settings, and it's kind of hard to get to. On the four-wheeler. So I said I'll just leave the adjustments just like they were. So now we should have some good results. Some real good results. Oh yeah. All right, so let's give this another shot. I'm glad that I was able to pull start it and run the gas at the same time. So, gas on. Is it empty? Huh, we gotta add some more gas. It sucked that gas right into the engine because it was loading up so bad. That can wash down a cylinder and mess up your rings if you ain't careful. So put my little homemade vent fan on. Key on. Man, that compression. Almost. There we go. Kind of idled up too high, but bowl's leaking a little bit. Don't get your hand off in there. No, don't die. Clutch is working. Smoking just a little bit. Carburetor's trying to load up a little bit. Trying to idle it down a little bit. No blow by. Don't sound too bad. Carburetor's kind of iffy. I wondered did we run out of gas. Almost. It don't run too bad. It smokes a little bit, but that could be because it's been sitting up so long. Hopefully they didn't hurt the engine when they were running it with the throttle needle just dancing around in the hole. But like I say, it don't. Motor ain't making any noise. We might have to do some carb adjustment. I don't know if they were messing with the air screw. It's just so hard to get to it. Plus we don't have the air box on it. So let's put some more gas in it. I don't see nothing leaking. The clutch is working. You can see that kicking in and out. I'll put some more gas in it and we'll crank it up and run it again. It's kind of hard to stick your hand in there to idle it because that clutch, you get your hand off in that clutch right there and you got some problems. So I can't really put it in, well, I could put it in gear. The carburetor's leaking too. I think it's going to need to, probably going to need the floats adjusted. I did notice that the floats, the tab was bent a little bit too much, so I think it's putting too much gas to it. So I might need to take the bowl back off, bend that tab just a little bit. So I thought it was a drain, but I see it's trickling out. Yeah, it's overflowing. It's overflowing fuel. So before I crank it again, since it's almost out of gas, I'm gonna take the carburetor off and take the bowl off of there. And adjust those floats, because you can see the carburetor is trickling gas out. Let me turn the gas off. Yeah, I need to adjust those floats. So I'll do that and then we'll fire it up again, because I don't want to fire start it because it's leaking all down the backside of the head and get up on that pipe. Then we got real issues. Alright, ladies and gents, so I've been working on this thing. Finally got the carburetor to do something. Had to go in, readjust the floats, swap out the jets with another carburetor I had. So I got the air box hooked up. I got a K&N air filter that came with the Yamaha Warrior, and surprisingly it fits the Polaris. So we got it in there. This fits right in there perfect. Also today the new starter came in and we got the new starter drive in it. So let's fire this bad boy up. Let's see, will it go in gear. Now he told me that the transmission had a reverse problem. I have not tried to put it in reverse. I've only just cranked it and let it sit here and run. So I don't know if that's true or not. You know, when you buy stuff from people, they tell you certain things and it's really not what they think it is. But let's just crank it up and see, will it even go in gear? Because it might not have anything wrong with the transmission. It could have just been it not running right. I mean, carburetor or something, I don't know. But like I say, let's see what it does. So key on. So neutral. Starter gear is kind of loud. Gas on. He's hearing the idles though. That's reverse. I don't hear any clunking sound or nothing. That's forward. Reverse again. Ooh. Ain't no brakes. I'm gonna put it in low. I need to idle it down some. Down a little bit. Sounds good though. So we know that it's got forward and reverse, high and low. It's not smoking. That rattling sound is the exhaust. Not quieter, huh? That's got to be fixed. It has broken away from the muffler. Well, actually it's on a ball, but they got something rigged up here. I'm going to have to figure that out. That thing purrs like a kitten. So anyway, it runs, it goes in gear. The carburetor is still kind of shabby. I'm probably going to end up just ordering a new carburetor for it anyway, and a new intake boot. The intake boot is real hard to get the carburetor back in it. But I did try the vacuum pump. I just took a hose, hooked it here, and put the gas bottle on it, and cranked it up, and it sprayed gas out, so that pump is working. But this is going to be kind of a long, drawn-out project. I mean, it still needs a lot of work. All the bushings on the front is wore out. It don't have any A-frame bushings. Still got to change the drive shafts, which I'm going to take those off of probably the 500 Polaris and put on here. Got to check the charging system, make sure it works, and we got to also get the brakes. There's no brakes on this thing, so we got to get that going, and then we can move on to what else. We got to get the plastics on it. I ordered a green side cover because I'm going to put the green plastics on it. and it won't be here till probably next week sometime, middle of next week. So like I say, this is going to be kind of a long project to bring this one back up to snuff. Then also we got to get the lights going, make sure the four-wheel drive works. So y'all just stay tuned on this one. I'm not going to be able to fit all that in this video, but it will be in the next video. So y'all just make sure your notifications on and be looking out for the 325 Polaris brought back from the dead. And leave a comment. Make sure you hit a like button. Please hit like button. Even if you don't like the video, just hit the like button anyway. YouTube algorithm loves that type of stuff. And I got my eye on a couple more four-wheelers that's cheap. My goal is to buy the cheapest four-wheelers or free four-wheelers and try and bring them back. There's a lot of them on Marketplace. People just got stuff, just giving up on them. They're either giving them away to get them out their yard, or they're selling them dirt cheap. So I'm going to try and buy the cheapest motorcycles, four-wheelers, dirt bikes, whatever I can get cheap or free. We'll get them here. We'll try and get a couple parts bikes and try and make them run. So just stay tuned. No telling what I come up with next. But that's going to be it on this one. Today is Thursday, so I hope y'all have a good weekend that's coming up. And we got some real cold weather that just hit. It's down to like the 20s again. So wherever you're at, I hope you're having some good weather. And if you're too cold, stay warm. If you're too hot, stay cool. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.